One of the things that I'm loving so far about this year is that we've gotten so much information, so much news about gaming, so many stories that it's easy to have enough content to cover multiple stories. And I know not everybody does it that way. Like I could get away with probably just doing one video a day or a video every other day or something like that and just use like the big stories that come out. But in general, I just love gaming so much and just start my day off usually when I'm at work or whatever, kind of scrolling through my phone, looking through different stories on video games and things like that. And there's so much. And then I just kind of that how I work with what I do is I'll take any of the stories links and I'll put them on a thing on my phone while I'm at work, and then I'll come home and kind of go through and decide what to actually do a video about. So that's sort of how I do this. And then I'll just make it, obviously I know a lot of people don't know that much about it, especially if you're a new subscriber or something like that. So my general job is animal rescue, dog training, and stuff like that. So that's kind of my job, and I do it early in the day. So I'm home, a good amount earlier than most people because the way that I work. Most days is early in the morning, and I get off usually before 11 a.m. Eastern. So that's something that a lot of people didn't know about me, and that leaves me plenty of time to kind of mess with this stuff. Obviously I have a family and kids and stuff like that, so it's very difficult to put as much time into it as I can. But when it comes to news like this, I feel like this was something that I wanted to actually cover earlier because I just thought it was a phenomenal thing. And you know what better time to cover it than now, because this just goes to show the mindset of Microsoft, where they're at right now, and how I don't know if you guys saw that Adam, I think his name is Green, he did a video that got pretty viral about the negative side of Microsoft buying companies. The thing that I would say is, when it comes to Microsoft buying companies, a lot of us, like Next Gen 720, would come out and say stuff like, "Be the behemoth that you are. Buy stuff. If you can't, make your own exclusives, buy them." And they're doing that, and that's something that probably Sony and Nintendo can't afford to do in the same manner. And so when you hear this from Microsoft, you get the idea that they're not even close to being finished, and this is exactly what so many people were asking them for, and now it's like people are angry that they're out there doing it. So I don't know, it's going to be an interesting topic and a very interesting video for sure. What's up, everybody? I'm Crap Gamer, and this of course is Crap Gamer Reviews, your home for gaming news, opinions, reviews, and much more. You'll probably notice a few cool changes around here, but that shouldn't stop you from giving us a like and possibly consider subscribing if you haven't already done so. Thank you so much for choosing to spend some of your free time with me today. It means the absolute world to me, and I do think the world of you guys. So yeah, know that, and I know how busy you guys are, so the fact that you choose to spend some of your free time with me on my channel means everything. If you could just like the videos, that would be fantastic. As I put some work into them, it does take work to do these, so I know I'm not the best or whatever like that, but it does mean a lot, so thank you guys. Now, Phil Spencer did an interview on Axios.com about some of the things that happened with the Activision buyout and just where they are in terms of how they feel. So Microsoft Gaming CEO Phil Spencer describes his company's planned acquisition of Activision Blizzard as personally daunting and downplays the influence it would give his team over the gaming industries. So basically, this is the one I'm gonna go over most of this, but the one thing that really is super intriguing about this is when they ask Phil Spencer about this. This is why they bought Activision. Okay, now think about this for a second as I go over this. Phil Spencer maintains that Microsoft's bid was greatly influenced by the completion of the company's $7.5 billion ZeniMax Bethesda gaming deal in early 2021. He says, and I quote, "The board of Microsoft on the day that we got approval for ZeniMax asked, what was next?" So the constant conversation had always been about mobile and casual, and Activision Blizzard's most popular division, King, is a mobile giant with 240 million monthly users. The bottom line is that Spencer is focused on raising player counts for Microsoft's games these days, and says he will consider the Activision Blizzard deal a success if he succeeds there. The longest goal for us is, do creators on our platform feel like they have the best opportunity to reach the maximum number of players with the maximum creative diversity that they need, he said. So just the main part that I wanted to go over this right now was the board asked what's next after you just got done spending $8 billion on a buyout. right? A board with unlimited money and cash reserves and trillions of dollars, it's a couple $1 trillion company or whatever. That's incredible that they're asking what's next. And they're probably asking what's next after this one as well, once this goes through, right? And so early on, if you guys remember, I know a lot of you maybe listen to a lot of my videos or whatever, but if you guys listen early on, I said, I think this was more about the mobile side than it was Call of Duty. Yes, Call of Duty is this huge thing, but the reason why I think Call of Duty can afford to go exclusive in a few years is because this wasn't about Call of Duty. This was about the mobile side of things, right? And when you look at things, and I brought this up, and I don't know why so many people just laugh me off when I say things, but when you look at Call of Duty, or when you look at these things, right? Phil Spencer is always about monthly active users, and he all talked about the billions of users and things like that. Well, originally he was talking about we're going to be able to kind of reach those with xCloud and this and that. The thing is, that was really more of a thing to get backing from boards and things like that. I think to actually raise the player count in gaming, you need to go out there and actually get mobile games and stuff like this. So right now, I think they said that Xbox has something like 100 million monthly active users or something. You add in the 240 million monthly active users from King, 100 million monthly active users from the Call of Duty Warzone, which Warzone 2 is going to be on PlayStation as well. We know that. So, next thing you know, you've got like half a billion monthly active users. So that raises it incredibly large amount. So that's incredible to actually see what happens right there between Phil Spencer and what they're saying, and the fact that Microsoft has all this money. Now, if you were very familiar with this video, this like few minute video that this guy Adam put out, he used to have this show called Adam Ruins Everything, where he kind of go into detail about stuff. Now, he mostly says that Sony is screwed, right? And but the thing is, he says that they're using the Walmart Amazon strategy. So if you're not familiar with that, basically Microsoft can take a loss on Game Pass, right? Just to push the other companies out, because this is what he thinks is going to happen. He thinks that Microsoft's going to keep consolidating, getting all these games, and even third-party games, day and date in Game Pass, and people are just going to go, well, why would I pay $70 for this game on PlayStation when I can just get it in my monthly Game Pass subscription on Xbox, right? And basically, Sony cannot afford to take these losses, and neither can Nintendo. But Nintendo is not going to have to really deal with much, because they have their own universal IP that basically they aren't dealing with third party much anyway, like especially day and day stuff. They don't have the Call of Duties, the Maddens, the NBA 2Ks. They don't have any of that stuff anyway. They rely on exclusives. So they'll be in much better shape, pretty much, and that's pretty much what he says, but Sony could be screwed. But I think, it really kind of depends, but I do see some of the argument there already where people are like, well, why would I pay $70 for a game, when I can get it for this amount of price? That's why Sony, and he's of the belief that Sony can't afford to do that, because even though Microsoft is reporting record revenue and stuff, that's not profit. Like, Microsoft could actually be losing money because they're spending so much. I don't know for sure. I'm not going to speculate one way or the other, but Microsoft could definitely afford to lose money for a long time, and they probably expect to with these big acquisitions and stuff. I mean, over the last year and a half for Xbox themselves, spending 80 billion on 2 publishers. Yeah, that's a lot of money, and they probably aren't going to get that back for a little bit, but that's okay, because they're playing the long game, and they can pretend to play nice with Sony, right? And that's the thing that I think we're going to start to see before too long. And again, at the end of the day, you're going to see a lot of people kind of look at this and go, well, Sony has a lot of great IP, and they do. But the thing that Sony absolutely cannot afford to do, and I just kind of want to put this out there, is this thing that Sony absolutely cannot afford to do is kind of try to go toe-to-toe with Microsoft. That would be a wrong thing to do. And not only would that be like the wrong thing to do, but that would be disastrous for them. That's why I was very, the way that I was when I said don't do 10 games as a service games. I don't understand the thought process of that, right? Games can be more than that because games as a service games tend to launch half broken, and Sony's games are known for quality. So if you start going, and I'm being serious, like I play PUBG right now, and I played it at launch. It was a wreck at launch. Fortnite was a wreck at launch. Battlefield 2042 is a wreck. Call of Duty is missing stuff. Even Halo, I mean, it launched in a better state than most of these other ones, but it's still incomplete. Sea of Thieves was kind of a wreck at launch. State of Decay 2 sort of a wreck at launch. Well, actually a complete wreck. So you have most games as a service. Rainbow Six, that game was a complete wreck at launch. Even stuff like The Division. These games that launch are completely incomplete, and a lot of them are broken and a wreck because you got to constantly add things to it, and they usually never have, they're in such a rush to get them out, they never have the content that they should have. So that's the thing that I felt like it was very obvious from the start, and I do hope that Sony, I don't know, 10 just seems like a lot. We'll see what happens, but I do think that it could be very interesting. Anyway, so interesting that Microsoft is like, who's next? They're probably still saying who's next, and there's a lot of companies out there. Again, Microsoft is really going to play up the fact that they're in third place or whatever, and that's going to allow them to do a lot more than even what Sony could do. Even if Sony had unlimited money like Microsoft, they would be more limited than Microsoft because they're in the market leader position. So hopefully you guys understand where I'm coming from. Now I'm going to link this, and you guys can check it out. Let me know what you think. Rack 'em up, fact 'em up, crap gamer 'em up. Crap gamer out.